So it's a lovely morning, and we thought we'd just continue the story about the adventure in Thailand. And I got Jeannie here. So I just wanted to talk about what I guess the general living conditions were like, in particular the little old room bungalow thing that I lived in for about 8 months. Look, I can't even believe I lived in it that long now. I'll definitely show you some pictures. They'll pop up. There you go. Right, so it's a small little concrete room with very small windows, no fan, so zero ventilation. Yeah, terrible colors. So if breathing wasn't difficult enough, then the mattress that was in there was rock hard and moldy. So I had to get rid of that straight away. Yeah, as my mum would say, beggars can't be choosers. So I was certainly in that situation at that time where I had to make do, make the best with what I had. So I'm in a little room, like at least I wasn't paying any additional rent. So that's why I chose to stay in that little room, because it was on the property that I was developing. So first up, I needed to chuck out that old rock hard moldy mattress and buy a new one. However, on the island, you're not blessed with that many choices of mattresses, right? So all I could buy was another rock hard mattress, but at least it didn't have mold. So, well, that was a win, I suppose. Look, for the first couple of weeks, I had severe back pain every day. I was trying to save money and just use a room that I had available. It took about a month for my back and spine to readjust and align with sleeping on what felt like concrete most of the time.
Yes. That's more like Thai style.
That's Thai style, is it?
Yeah.
And I've seen you sleep on concrete before,
Yeah.
and it's no problem, and bamboo. Yeah, but obviously Farang are not used to this because we usually sleep on soft mattresses. So I've got a clean mattress. I'm in this terrible little room, but I'm feeling reasonably good because I'm getting the job done. The guys are out there, they're building, and I'm seeing my project slowly but surely come together. I'm living right in the middle of a construction site. So it's important that I'm there because you've got to keep an eye on what's happening. So I was literally living right in the middle of all of the action. It was pretty hard to breathe. I won't lie, it was not the best experience of my life with regards to sleeping.
That room is the old room from the old bar.
Oh yeah, exactly. So that was just an existing building that, from what I understand, used to be rented out, or at least given to friends to stay in by the old owner. And I had sort of come in and basically knocked just about everything else down because it was completely unlivable, like rot throughout the place and termites and stuff. It was wooden and bamboo, that kind of material. So I had left this one because it was made out of concrete. There's a little, somewhat of a usable bathroom, and look, I needed a place to stay, so it just kind of made sense.
And have rat in the ceiling also?
Oh yeah. So when I first started living in there, it was, apart from what I just mentioned about the terrible mattress and can't breathe ventilation, it was in reasonably good condition other than that. I'm not sure if the power points work properly. However, as time went on and we got into the rainy season, it's certainly, so all the wood roof framework started to deteriorate even more, and I started to hear animals in the roof at night. So I was literally living in a pest-infested little concrete box with no air on a rock-hard mattress. And it just got to the point where, with all of the rain in the rainy season, that the wooden framework had deteriorated so much that some of the awnings were starting to collapse as well. Just had to think of another place to live and find some money to pay for something. Literally just getting access to my room and getting out started to become a bit of a hazard because of all the broken rubble, steel, and as well as the noise. I mean, the guys would get started reasonably early in the morning, and just started to feel really exposed there, being this one guy all by himself living in the middle of a construction zone. It was pretty sketchy and dangerous. I'd made a couple of friends at that time, and one of the guys, Andrew from Australia, he's unfortunately passed away, taken his life since then. he said that there was a couple of nice bungalows just in the next village where it was nice and quiet. So I really love the idea of nice and quiet and just being off-site. So yeah, with Andrew's encouragement, I went and had a look. And yeah, so that kind of leads me on to how I met Jean, which we might talk about in the next episode. But look, it really felt like my own personal story of Survivor. I mean, Survivor, the TV show, was and is one of my favorite shows of all time. You know, pushing yourself to the limits, being outside of your comfort zone, and just doing whatever you need to do to succeed, to reach the outcome, to get it done. So I was absolutely focused on getting this build up and running. I mean, the clock was ticking. High season was sort of around the corner, you know, your October, November, December onwards. You want to have your rooms ready to go so you can start making some money, because at that stage it's just pouring money into construction. So money is flying out at a serious rate. So needed to save money, needed to use what I had, and I needed to survive the experience. So that meant having to take a bit of a step back on personal comforts. Personal comfort was not a luxury that I had at that time.
Yeah, and you have any friend, right?
No, I was I was literally there by myself. I didn't really have any friends. I had started to talk to some of the massage girls across the road, and you know, people were fairly friendly with me. A couple of the other foreigners that had businesses, we would catch up a little bit. There were some good times there. So that was a nice little temporary escape from the project, the build. But I literally was like way too busy to really spend too much time socializing anyway.
And construction is a Cambodia team.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah.
I understand you.
I mean, there's other challenges there. So here I am as a foreigner with a bit of a plan on paper how I would like to build. And I'm essentially working with a team that don't speak English, or just one or two words. We had to use Google Translate. So of course that's pretty hard. And you know, since it's my extremely hard-earned money, I want it to be the way I wanted it to be. However, when you're working with a team, a foreign team, they've kind of got their own ideas as to how they think they should build things as well. So there was quite a few challenges getting it right.
Yeah, they not follow your plan, right? That's the...
And a lot of the steps on the plan weren't followed language, so that just added to the Survivor type experience. I had to find a way. And that was why it was really important that I lived there and that I was there most of the time. Look, I had to take a few trips to Pattaya and Bangkok to buy stuff and set up businesses, like setting up a company and all of that. So I tended to find that those times that I went away for a few days, I would come back, and usually I would come back and like kind of not be happy with what I would see, because they would do something completely opposite to what was on the plan. I would at times have to ask them to redo it, so break it down and do it again, because it wasn't to the plan. And of course that's creating friction, because it means they have to do it a second time, and it's also not great for me because I'm losing time, and I also have to buy the materials for a second time. So I had to end up picking my battles, I suppose, living with some of the imperfections and just ensuring that I got most of it as right as possible. But you know, I had the vision, and I wanted to create this, you know, lovely place for people to come and stay. And look, we had some good times with each team. We had some challenges, that's probably normal. Probably extra challenges for the reasons that I've just mentioned about not sharing the same language and just having different ideas as to how we think things should be done. But at the end of the day, I'm paying for it, so I'm expecting it to be done the way I want, but you know, that also comes with a bit of friction at times.